Don't have so much experience racing, but very fast circuit and very windy, so 16 minutes quite a good here. So it's all a learning process, really. Got a lot of experience yesterday and hopefully looking forward to a good race today.
I always like coming back because it's a lot quicker than Mondello. But you got 2 lines here and a couple of millions and Mondello.
Yeah, her first pole position, Paxton Finance Group car, and everybody else hoping she makes a mess at the start. The man at the outside gets a great start, and she does. She drops the clutch and nothing happens. But it's Holstein away there with Gordon Kellett and Joey Freeburn, and she's being swallowed at the moment. Dave Maguire going down the inside. That's Joey Freeburn there, and we're looking out the back of Holstein car. And who's that? That's Mcguire out on the grass there.
Great start from Erik Holstein. He absolutely made mincemeat of everyone else off the start line, and Michelle Graham was left standing. We're looking at the back of Gordon Kellett's car. He's got Joey Freeburn swamping and swarming all over the back of him, but he's hanging on there to second place, while Holstein, a former show jumper, still actually a current international show jumper, throws it through the chicane. Wonderful car control from the novice.
You can see the red car there in the background. That's Mervyn Miller just getting a little out too far. Now watch the back of this punt though as she just drops in there. Oh, and a big lock up from Joey Freeburn as he left the door open. I think he has Gordon Kellett having a look at that inside. Michelle Graham, the recovering embarrassed Michelle Graham, just making moves. But look at the battle for the second place, and this will play into Holstein's old lap, because he says he's not that used to racing, but I think he's done a few days in the UK, but he hasn't raced. I think he's tested over there, but we'll find out. You can still have to learn this circuit, and it's a hard one to learn. Brave enough to stay out on the outside, go through that right-hander quick, and he pulls a couple of car lengths. Oh, Mcguire in the wars again. He was out on the first lap, and you can see Hugh McAvoy in the 087. He'll make a quick call to him and say, hey, Davey, baby, not in the door.
Meanwhile, Erik Holstein leads confidently, throws it into the chicane again. He's certainly the man to watch these days. Joey Freeburn chasing in second place, still in good shape, and there's a hell of a group behind, because we've got Gordon Kellett in third place, Michelle Graham recovering, and she's making plans in fourth place, and we see that Nigel Pratt, one of the 2 Pratt brothers in this race, is closing in fifth.
Yeah, we also got Clive down the back of the old white one. These two usually up in the second row. We're on board there with Gordon Kellett during his race, but at the moment he's spending his time looking in the mirror, because he's got 2 or 3 people who would like to dispose of that second place, starting with Freeburn and Michelle Graham. And Freeburn has it. They're side by side. He has him there now. He's up into that second place. So Gordon down into third place, and now Michelle up into fourth. Who is it going to be in fifth? It is Pratt, and there Andrew Mckinney, who loves this circuit, in the yellow and red car, way back.
There's 2 distinct groups forming. We've got Holstein leading the first group. He's got Kellett behind, and obviously Freeburn in second place, Kellett third, Michelle Graham fourth. We've got one of the Pratts, Nigel Pratt, closing in fifth place, and then his brother is just at the back of the second group, which is being led by Ed O'Connor.
Ed O'Connor in the back turtle wax car there as they get through the chicane. Mervyn Miller there, number 9, the MD car, getting out through as well. A bit spread out for a punter race, but look at it. Holstein, did he make a mistake there? No, just coming very late on the brakes, leaves the door a little open, has to track them in, but he powers it out. Freeburn can do nothing about it. He's got to get to the inside to stop Gordon Kellett having a look at that inside line. And watch Holstein now. Very brave, moves straight over in front of Joey Freeburn to get the quick line and flat through that left-hander as they come down to Colonial 1. And you can see Freeburn is looking to do a late braking manoeuvre, keeping the door closed. He's using the middle of the road. Freeburn using that road again, a little flick, turns it in, catches it on the curb there, Michelle Graham. And somebody off. That's Mckinney there with Nigel Pratt. So now we're going to have a change. Clive, I think, is going to give his brother a hard time.
The panel people are rubbing their hands in glee, and once again a punto race is showing plenty of excitement, plenty of great door banging action. But Erik Holstein is really impressing with the way that he's learnt this Kirkistown circuit so quickly. But he's gone wide there. That wasn't in the script.
No, he threw it into the second part of the chicane. Joey Freeburn thought, this is it, horsey, I'm going to have you. He's up on the outside, and let's see who'll outdo. But look at Kellett. Kellett's decided he's going to come through. Holstein held that inside line. Kellett is in the middle. It's a sandwich, but Holstein, beautiful from the outside of the track, straight over, keeps that inside door closed. I don't know where this man has learned his racecraft, or is that what you do when you're riding horses? Anyway, Kellett in a dangerous position on the inside of this very quick left-hander.
Joey Freeburn wasn't giving up second place too easily there. He's still in second place. Michelle Graham punts him from behind. She was up the inside of Kellett, really going for it, and she's just emerging in the lead. If we look at that again, we can see that it was Michelle Graham leaving her braking impossibly late. She pushes Freeburn on, and he hits Erik Holstein. He has nothing to do except go sideways. He plants it early, manages to recover from an impossible position. Right at the back, Kellett was trying to keep out of the way just to remain as circumspect as possible. But we now, with our leader, Michelle Graham, she's managed to profit from that situation, but I wonder how popular she'll be.
I think she's going to go and have a little word with Joey Freeburn without all the junior councils and the senior councils around to give the advice. A genuine mistake, I would say, but her fault, and a little bit of damage up the front. But meanwhile, Holstein got away with a beautiful long hard left. That's Ed O'Connor on the inside, and that is Clive coming up there in the white Pratt car. Actually, the two of them side by side. That's got a lot of dust. Somebody off on the inside, and Andrew Mckinney wiping the barriers with his mirror. Nigel in the pink one and Clive in the white one, three abreast. I wouldn't like to be in the middle.
3 cars abreast going through Deaders is not for the faint-hearted. Very impressive. But now we look at Erik Holstein down the outside into Colonial. The first bend, that's not an easy manoeuvre. Where did he learn that so quickly? Very impressive. He takes the lead from Michelle Graham.
Yeah, nice one. If Michelle wanted to be a little nasty, a little nudge there, but he came down. He absolutely has a great car control. Got it nicely balanced. We're on board, out onto the grass now. We're coming back, haven't lost any places there, but watch this. Clips over the curb. Michelle over the curb. Gordon over the curb. And then it's Ed O'Connor now 2 abreast. Mckinney and Nigel tried to make it 2 abreast. And Carl Leonard there, number 47, the other yellow car, just diving up the inside. Meanwhile, Mervyn Miller has another idea. Now we've got Nigel Pratt. This is serious good work.
Pick a leader out of that group by the end of the race. Very impressive. But we see Michelle Graham is still clinging on there in 3rd place. Her very second-hand looking Italian Saloon Tax and Finance Group car is certainly going well at the moment. But I wonder, was there damage from that incident?
Well, the bonnet looks fairly damaged. Don't forget the radiator. Yes, she's slowing a little bit. No, sorry, my apologies. That is one of the Pratt cars, the white one. And it's now 47 Carl Leonard who's pulled the stroke and got himself up into the lead of these 5 cars. Ed O'Connor down there. Michelle at the moment beginning to smoke, letting them through. Everybody diving through there. That's Mckinney, number 72, with Mervyn Miller, number 9, beside him. Side by side again, the smoke beginning to come from Michelle. She's going to save that engine, and away she goes. And bringing up the rear, Dave Maguire, who's been off twice already.
Meanwhile, Erik Holstein's very second-hand looking car is still well out in the lead. He's a little bit more circumspect, a little quieter through the chicane there, but no less quick for it. While a little bit further back on the 4th place dice, we see Carl Leonard has emerged in at the lead of that group ahead of Nigel Pratt.
Yeah, Carl going well, and we're looking out the back again of Gordon Kellett's car as they come down this long straight. A little unfairly, the lads have christened Holstein Horsebox. I don't like it, but I tell you lads, the only part of this horsebox you guys are going to see are the taillights.
He certainly looks like he's working his way to yet another win. He's the novice of the season, no question about it, in this Italian Saloon, Yokohama Italian Saloon Championship. Meanwhile, Carl Leonard is staying ahead of the 4th place group, and we've got Andrew Mckinney in 6th place, and he's being challenged by Clive Pratt.
They spread out a little bit. Ed O'Connor got together from all of that stuff and really made legs. You can see Gordon in the background again. The 3rd of these cars should be the black car. That's Ed sitting up in 3rd place, where we would expect him to be with his previous experience. In he goes, the turtle white car turns it in, but who would it be? It's still Carl Leonard in the Nace Court Hotel, just turning it in, getting a little ragged. The boys behind him trying to make it 2 abreast, Mervyn Miller and Mckinney, but look, out over the curb. This guy gets away with things that a lot of other people wouldn't get away. It's called car control. We jump ahead to the same man with that car control and the Reynolds supported car. He's on his last lap, but look at the battle for 4th place. Clive Pratt, Carl Leonard Nigel Pratt and Andrew Mckinney. Any one of these four can take a little bit of paint being rubbed, a lot of paint being rubbed. Leonard out on the grass in the background, Mckinney watching it up front. You can see Ed O'Connor going through, but who will it be? The two lads side by side. Carl Leonard looking at the back of Clive Pratt's car, Nigel behind him, so it's known as a Pratt sandwich.
And Carl Leonard's in the middle of it. He did well to hold on there, as did Clive Pratt up at Colonial, but as they go down into the hairpin for the last time, this is Carl Leonard's best chance. Meanwhile, our winner, our leader, our winner for the second time in 3 races ever is Erik Holstein. A wonderful performance. And second across the line is going to be Gordon Kellett. Third place is Ed O'Connor. Wonderful performance for him. But who's going to emerge in 4th place? It's Clive Pratt in the white Pratts of Carlo car, just ahead of Carl Leonard. And his brother Nigel Pratt's third of that group. Yokohama Italian Saloons always throw up surprises, and show jumping star Erik Holstein has won 3 wins from 6 starts and pole position again at Mondello today.
Oh yeah, it's been a great start. I really enjoyed it. It's a fantastic experience, and hopefully we can get 1 or 2 more good chances today, so we'll see how it goes.
Now, they often tell me that show jumping people or horse riding people, it's all the same sort of skills, balance is required.
Show jumping it's quite a hairy sport as well. You have to be very committed, and it's probably as dangerous as motor racing, if not more so.
Now, you've been on the Irish show jumping team, and you've just taken a year out, is that right?
That's right, yeah. Around February, March time, it was going to become obvious that there wasn't a lot for me to do in the show jumping horse show scene abroad and that, so I decided to do this. I always wanted to have a go at it, so next year I'll probably have to go back to show jumping again.
Incredible, certainly showing us all the way. Maybe we might take a bit of show jumping, and hopefully we can do the same to him. 2 poles this year, and this is my highest in 4 races. Qualifying hasn't been going too well. The last 3 or 4 races, just can't get the game together in qualifying. Delighted to be on the front row. Hopefully we get our championship back on track.
On pole position, as we can see, is the Reynolds-backed Holstein car. That's number 3, that's Joey Freeburn. And lining up beside him, the newly painted number 47. I did give out about this young man's car, Carl Leonard, nice looking car. That's Andrew Mckinney back there in the Motorfit car, and then we've Gordon Kellett. A lot of experience back there, and a lot of new guys. There we go, one of the Pratts, that's Ed O'Connor. Now, he's got a camera on board for us. He's looking out the front window, and we've also got a camera on the horseman up the front, looking out the back windows. Down to who gets the best start when the lights change. Will it be Holstein? Will it be Dave Maguire? Don't underestimate Dave Maguire. This guy might be the new superstar, but Dave's been around a long time. I've raced against him, and he's one serious pilot, and he has the legs of him. And this time, without anything wrong, he just pulls across and locks it up there. You can see Freeburn holding that 3rd place, keeping Leonard out. That's how close they are, the first 3, as they go down the funnel for the first time.
Perfect start by Dave Maguire. He completely eliminated the pole position of Erik Holstein, and Erik is now looking at Joey Freeburn behind as he sort of holds up the rest of the pack. Carl Leonard's mounting a challenge behind Joey Freeburn. We're in car with Ed O'Connor. He's just behind Nigel Pratt, who's got ahead of him at the start, and ahead of him is Gordon Kellett.
Gordon out there, getting a little bit of tail out there, side by side, Mckinney there, everybody bunching up as they go down this long left-hander, the quickest part now of this intermediate circuit at Mondello Park, looking at the inside line, locking that back wheel. This guy Erik doesn't have a lot of patience. He wants to get up there straight away. Don't let him settle. Get up alongside him. That's Michelle Graham in the Tax and Finance car that put it on pole position in Kirkistown on our last television programme. Meanwhile, back with the leaders, and it's still Mcguire.
Dave Maguire absolutely hanging it all out. There's Andrew Mckinney. He's back in 7th place. He's got Gordon Kellett all over him. Really pushing hard to try and get a run at him around Parabolica. We're in car with Erik Holstein. As we come to the end of the lap, he's got Joey Freeburn behind. A little bit of daylight there between the two of them, and I think Erik is able to concentrate as much as he can on mounting a challenge on Dave Maguire at the end of this first lap. Ooh, bit of a mistake there by Joey.
Whoa, Freeburn having a little rub with Carl Leonard. I didn't think they liked each other that much, but I will tell you, if I had somebody up this inside, Joey, I'd back off and go down the outside quick, because all that happened was to slow the both of you up, and here comes Andrew Mckinney and Gordon Kellett. But the one who lost out there, Carl Leonard, he'll have it all to do again. But you saw there that although he was not fighting with the leader, Mcguire, the two of them actually pulled a couple of car lengths on Freeburn now. You get the impression coming up the hill as if Freeburn's closing right in on you, but he's not. It just means that he's later on the brakes because you're already turning on the power. But this is a high-speed Spirit de Punto as they go out the back, and it is still Carl Leonard, and he is looking in his mirror at Andrew Mckinney now.
Plenty of commitment there by Carl Leonard. We're in car with Ed O'Connor. He's chasing the group. Just in front of us is Nigel Pratt in the Pratts of Carlow. Very distinctive pink livery. And he's crawling all over Gordon Kellett. These guys will know each other of old. Bit of a mistake there by Ed O'Connor. He ran right onto the dust at the Tarzan, the second of the Tarzan corners. And as he turns in for the S's, oh, that's Michelle Graham has just got ahead of him as a result of that.
And Michelle in that little Saxon Finance car, just getting it in, putting a wheel up on the curl. Doesn't take any prisoners, this lady. Saw the gap. He made that mistake on the previous corner shoot. She could get up alongside him, he's through. But again, you can see this is second place man. The second place man has made a mistake. He's out on that very bumpy part of the circuit, which I said is going to catch someone out in a big way. And Freeburn, unfortunately, wasn't as close this time. Gordon Kellett that time having a look at the inside, and he has. Mckinney and himself side by side. Meanwhile, Pratt is going to make it 3 abreast as they come down the straight this time.
Hell of a scrap here. Gordon Kellett, of course, he's been around a long time. Andrew Mckinney's one of the newer recruits to motor racing, of course, the Uno champion of a couple of years ago, and he's down the inside of Mckinney, and it looks as if Nigel Pratt's going to try and follow him.
Yeah, the old experience there. He saw Gordon heading for the gap, and he's right up his bumper. Back off through this funnel for the yellow flag. Minute he gets out, he'll have a good run at Mckinney now, but because he doesn't want Gordon to get away. He doesn't need someone in between. Nothing wrong with Mckinney's driving, it's just that Gordon's got away, got the break. He knows exactly what Nigel had in mind. Now, can Nigel get out to the outside line? No, Mckinney has that door blocked. It's a hard one to try it from there, but if he gets on the brakes early, he might get around the back.
Mckinney certainly had the door slammed shut on the straight there. No question of any problem about it, though. It was certainly Gordon Kellett was ahead, and as they worked their way through Tarzan, there's still nothing to choose between these three cars.
They're coming up now here to the parabolic. A lot of dust in the front. You can see everybody still trying, everybody drifting through. Gordon Kellett from Mckinney, and look at Pratt there, gets it up on the inside. I think he's going to make up a place. He should be side by side. He is indeed. He's got that inside line as they stream back out for this paddock bend and up the hill once more.
That's we just saw Ed O'Connor in the black car. He's ninth. The leader, of course, is still Dave Maguire. He's out in front as he has been. As we see Nigel Pratt, oh, he's done all the work. He got up the inside and he just had to take to the dirt. In fact, he's on the pit lane entrance and he's decided to go straight to the pits for a think about all that.
Well, when you get bounced around like that, maybe something did happen. We're on board again with Ed O'Connor. That's Michelle Graham up in front. Here's your best line. You can see down that white line on the brakes. You actually go by that corner, but then you turn back at it. He's pulled a nice half car length on Michelle, getting the power down, and they go down through. This is the funnel, I call it, because it is very quick. It is just flat, and then out you come onto the new part of the section, down towards, and he's back out of the circuit onto the circuit, so no problem there with Nigel. But there's our leader, Dave Maguire.
Yes, he certainly eked out a hell of a lead. He's in a very, very comfortable situation now, but still Erik Holstein is clinging on, and there's Joey Freeburn in third place. There's nothing really in it. I mean, it's incredibly close, and yet for so much of this race, Dave Maguire has had it all his own way. It looks as if he's in total control, but Erik Holstein's a winner. He knows what it takes, and he's certainly slitty-eyed as he chases down Dave Maguire.
Well, he made that one big mistake at the back of the paddock, got it out on the grass, but caught himself together. It's like having a fault in it as opposed to a clear round. But he's got the horse all the way working. But I'm surprised that Joey didn't really capitalise on that. He could have come down. That there's Mckinney in the Motorfit car. You'll see the back wheel just locked. See that? That's when the weight comes off that inside back wheel, but he's still driving. And poor Gordon, his mirror is still full of Mckinney. And in the background, we should be able to get on board again, maybe without O'Connor, and see what's what. That is young Carl Leonard. This is the battle. First of these, Gordon, and then Mckinney, and then in the background, then everybody seems to be pulling up.
Well, Gordon was very committed into the S's there, but Mckinney was able to draw on him as they went through Parabolic, and he's right with them again as they approach paddock corner. These are the boys dicing for 6th and 7th position.
And in the background, Michelle Graham will be hoping maybe a little nudge and a wink there. Oh no, the two lads together, because Nigel came back out of the pits. He's now got Clive by him, but he's got by Clive in a hurry that time. Oh, what's this? Holstein, really? Mcguire must have made a mistake somewhere, because they're all bunched up. 2nd and 3rd are really on the boot, and you can see, don't give this man a chance. Maybe there's some hay in the boot of that one. He wants to have a nibble on it, eh?
A bit of nose back there, but there's nothing to choose between these two guys. Dave Maguire has looked in control, but maybe he's tiring, or maybe there's a problem in that car. But Erik Holstein definitely sniffs a win, and he's right with them. Dave Maguire must be really worried now.
But Joey better move up there quick, because these two side by side. Now the man on the inside, don't break too late, Dave, don't leave it. Yes, you run a little wide, but he has it done. He's done it perfectly. Maybe he made a mistake, but Holstein really on his boot, out on the curbs as they head through into the Parabolic. And now what will it do? Will he give? He's having a look at the inside. No, still can't get up. Out he goes. It's really bouncing in suspension, keeping that door closed as they come through the long left-hander, heading for the back of the paddock once more. Very wide line there from Holstein.
Big late turn in there. Holstein knows that he'll be able to get on the power that bit earlier and close right up on Freeburn. In fact, he's inside him. He's got inside him on the approach to Paddock Hill Bend, but no. Oh, Dave Maguire tried to shut the door, but there's no way he can stay on the circuit, and he's thrown it all away. It's all disappeared.
Brilliant, you've got to hand him. He did a big wide one, and he's even lost his 2nd place. Joey Freeburn sitting right there. Dave Maguire will be kicking himself because he made a mistake. Weather jump, but that's our winner now, over the line, and you don't have to lead on any lap bar the last one.
Can't believe it. Jumped out 3rd with 2 corners to go, and it was just enough for Erik to get beside me, and that was it. I was gone.
It was getting hairy. I couldn't catch Dave. He was flying. He was flat out the whole race. It was very close. And then I'm not quite sure what happened. He slowed down a little bit 2 laps from the end. I think he had some sort of a problem, and I got one very quick lap in, and then I decided it was now or never and made a move.
Well, you've heard of the tortoise and the hare, but Gordon Kellett certainly isn't any tortoise, although he has managed to win the championship with only 1 race win. But don't worry, that all-important 2nd and 3rd is still up for grabs in the Yokohama Italian Saloon Car Series.
I really enjoyed the season. It was down a lot to reliability, and to be fair to Murray Motorsport, Joe and the team, they've done a superb job.
Bit of a battle between Dave Maguire and myself. Dave hipped ahead of me in the last round. Wet practice this morning. I qualified 4th. Dave, I believe, is behind me. Had a good run here last year in the wet, so we don't know, it's starting to dry out.
Nigel is 3 rows ahead of me. I've come from further back and ended up on the podium, so we'll see what happens.
And on pole position is Joey Freeburn. Beside him, Andrew Mckinney, and a great start there from Freeburn. The spinning wheels. The worst start was Nigel Pratt. You can see that diving up there, Gordon Kellett trying to have a look around outside of Mckinney, but Holstein gets a flyer as well. But the man who suffered most was the man who needs to keep that championship alive, Nigel Pratt, from the outside the 2nd row. They're going to go left, little nudge here and there. So it's Mckinney. Through they go. That's Mckinney, followed by, you see Nigel Pratt there in the pink one with the yellow flash on it. He was on the 2nd row, and he's right back, but it's Freeburn in the lead from Holstein, then Mckinney, then Kellett, then Nigel, and rubbing together there, number 6, Owen Murray has just popped up a place now. He should be a quick one on this, and Dave Maguire has all sorts of problems down there.
We've got cameras with Gordon Kellett and Owen Murray there, number 9, just going through the picture. And there's the other of the Pratt brothers. The 3 brothers race regularly in these fields. They're very keen. They're all from Carlow, and we're on board now with Owen Murray.
And Owen Murray having a look at the back of Nigel's car as they come into that very tight right-hander motor fit, getting back out onto the straight. He's having again a look up the inside. Will he have the legs? But you can see this is another young man. Very young indeed, drives in the Italian Saloons and the Unos, which we'll see in one of our later programmes. On the brakes here, flicks it in, just touches the curb. Gordon Kellett on board in front of him with the other onboard camera, the red car there, that's Owen Murray. Then we have number 6, Dave Maguire. Now he's got to get by all of them because the man behind Gordon, and look at Holstein having a look at it for the lead already. Joey Freeburn on pole position, but we can see chumming through the S's there, just clipping over the gear. 47, that is Carl Leonard from the Nice Court Hotel car. But the front 3 very close indeed. Mckinney should be able to capitalise on this.
Freeburn's advantage early on has really dwindled. Holstein a bucking bronco across the curves, and that's fairly appropriate because he's a very famous international show jumping man. And he has undoubtedly been one of the sensations of this year in his first season of racing.
Back aboard there with Gordon. As we know, he has won the championship, but that doesn't mean he's made a mistake. He's got it out on the grass. Will he lose a place? What he's done, he's lost the toe to these 3. So Mckinney now, and he has Nigel Pratt, beautiful, down the outside, coming into the S's, just nips by, and that's put another car between himself and Dave Maguire for this championship position.
So Pratt there heading the second bunch at the moment with quite a queue behind him. We're back with Owen Murray, who's just in behind the other onboard camera of ours, Gordon Kellett, and there's Pratt just ahead of him. Owen Murray, young man in his early seasons of racing, and really he's already had a win behind him this season in the Puntos.
Just tipping the car a bit hard there, Freeburn on out over the grass. That's not going to do your suspension any good, Andrew. Nigel then, Gordon, keep that inside door well closed. Up comes Dave. Will Dave get away with it? But Owen Murray now sitting on the back on a little nudge, say, wake up, Dave, come on, Owen, let's go for it. I need to get hold of Nigel up there. He's having a look at the inside, Owen Murray. A nice string of them along there, and all the time the first 3 are getting away, and Nigel is getting to get a break on it as well. In there, very deep indeed, Murray. Does you lose in place? In fairness, Dave Maguire around the outside. Will he get away with it? He does indeed. That is really a sandwich job.
And did Murray lose 2 places there, in fact, because that Clive Pratt is just ahead, 2 cars ahead of him now.
Just got in a bit late in the race, got a bit unstable. Back with our leader though, Freeburn locking a wheel, Holstein definitely locking a wheel, and Mckinney still on the toe, out over the curb. These 3, Nigel Pratt now in that 4th place with Gordon honing in on him. Back down to, from the old circle onto new. You can see how wide Holstein goes, quicker line, very tight one there from Freeburn. He's already pulled that car length, and he's brought Mckinney with him.
Andrew Mckinney, former Uno champion, who's struggled a little bit in Puntos this year, and but a clear run. And look at that in the back of that strain in the second group, all to play for there. And this is pressure with a capital P. Holstein in the Reynolds car, really putting the pressure now on the northern driver there, and he's right on his bumper now. And Mckinney is taking benefit from this in the Motorfit car.
Well, Mckinney definitely the last of the late breakers, but is he on the inside? He's going to have a look at it. Holstein, yes, he does. Flicks it through on the S. Freeburn comes back. Will he have another run? But an absolute superb manoeuvre up the inside, just flicks it through, doesn't get too much understeer, and gets into the lead. Locking the wheel there, hard on the brakes, to back out onto the short straight, and in the background, all over the place, Mckinney. Meanwhile, Nigel and Gordon having a run. Those 2 we saw together was actually Owen Murray and Dave Maguire, and we'll see how that ended up, because it is important for Dave to get by Owen, but it's also important for Owen to keep him behind.
It's not the first time we've seen a top horseman come to motorsport and really do very well. They tell me the skills are very much the same. It's all about balance and feel. And we can remember John Taylor, the first Irish tarmac rally champion and former British rallycross ace. He came from exactly the same discipline and really went quickly.
You can see there at the moment using all the road, letting it all the way through the left-hander, avoiding the curves, and he's pulled a couple of car lengths up on the outside curve. That's okay, keep you motoring. We're back on board with Gordon now. He's looking at the tail of the 4th place man, Nigel Pratt, as they get down into Ambassador. A much tighter line by Gordon, down into 2nd, then turn up the hill. Plenty of grip on the inside there. You'll see he'll just pull that half car length, get off the curve, don't make the same mistake, and away he goes. Meanwhile, up the front, Horsebox, as I said before, is the nickname. I think he's had to come to accept this, but Mckinney has made a big mistake down there at Tarzan, got out on the grass, and Nigel nearly got it up into 3rd place.
Nigel really needs those places, but the canny man behind him is Dave Maguire, and Dave Maguire just is holding station. He knows exactly what he has to do to come 2nd in the championship. Championship, of course, is already won by Gordon Kellett, who's just having a very pleasant end of season afternoon drive.
Yeah, Dave can see Nigel up front there battling away. He's in the white car at the back of that bunch. We're still there. Mckinney's still hanging on there. Nigel needs to get another set of wheels between himself and Mcguire. Getting that out on the curb. That's Gordon. In the background down Murray. A piece of plastic picked up with that excursion into the gravel. Shouldn't slow him down. Pratt goes through on a spinner. Michelle Graham, a very quick place to have a spin.
An incident's happening all round the track at the moment. I know, and Murray's going to be next on the list. He understeers off into what they call affectionately the kitty litter, and the world goes by. Trying to get back on the circuit. Oh, and that one was close. He nearly got clipped. And another buzzer. McKinney's off. McKinney's pulled off.
So Ed O'Connor and Carl Leonard got through there, Owen Murray. So that's Mckinney out, and this is really playing into the hands of our Dave. He's back there thinking, I can't believe my luck. Mckinney goes, Murray goes. There's our leader, second place, Freeburn. And still there in that third place will be Nigel Pratt. But now Dave should be on the boot lid of Gordon Kellett. We'll have a look-see. Leader, second place man, third place man, too, should be Nigel. Bit of a gap, should be bouncing over the curve shortly. Or is he? Yes, there he goes, a wide line. Yes, there's Mcguire sitting right on the bumper of Gordon Kellett. And if he finishes like this, he'll have copped that second place.
But Erik Holstein looks comfortable now to come up to yet another win in his maiden year. This really has been a big, big season for this man. He never raced before this season, and he has ended up right at the top of the pile in this very competitive formula indeed. So he takes the checkered flag and a very comfortable win there. But of course, all eyes are on the lower positions. Nigel Pratt, excellent recovery to third, but it wasn't enough to get second in the championship. And just coming up now are the final positions. Gordon Kellett wins the crown for the year 2000. In second place, Dave Maguire, third, Nigel Pratt. With the Nice circuit coming under new management, we learn of some very exciting plans for the Republic's only permanent race circuit.
Martin Brain and the track owners have decided to invest heavily in the facility here to bring it up to Grade 2 international licence, which will allow us to track in a lot of British and European classes for next year. And a lot of the investment will revolve around the building of 24 pit garages with 16 corporate hospitality units on top of it. Very much a state-of-the-art control tower with new medical centre, media facilities, timekeepers, proper rostrum on top of that. We're building a new 1,100-seater grandstand for the public along the main straight, new toilet blocks, a lot of new fencing up around the new international part of the loop, so people will be able to get out there for the first time. And that really is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much going to happen.